EVE Online is mostly known for its giant battles, but it's also full of ironic coincidences, like the first big war being fought over an area populated by a rich group of objectivists, and interesting political experiments. We are going to talk about the latter today. Approximately in the center of the game map, right on the border with safe and prosperous HiSec, exists a region of no space, meaning player-owned, unguarded by police NPCs space. It is named Providence, and from times immemorial, the region owners, CVA, were adhering to the policy of NRDS, not red, don't shoot. This policy used to be common, but obvious hardships within made most people abandon or modify it. In a nutshell, it consists of people being allowed inside the border of the player-owned space, as long as those players adhere to the simple rules and weren't known to openly aggress towards the coalition. Effectively, Providence operates as an open border system, except it excludes those who are found to violate its laws and added to kill on sight lists. If player is not listed in them and has no history of open aggression towards Proviblock, he is entitled to live within its borders, mine its endless, be it mediocre ore supplies, and engage in mission running with a simple rule of first come, first serve. This policy immediately leads to several complications, which, in my opinion, proponents of open borders need to learn and keep in mind. First, and the most obvious point, is that it allows criminal cartels to send in some sleeper agent, who will abide by the law of the land only until the moment of betrayal comes. It also allows for easier ambushes and attacks in general, because neutral intruders won't be killed on sight until they actually commit a crime. Not to mention that their devotion to NRDS made them a favorite target for trolls and grifters, who keep biting away at Provi territory. This led to Proviblock becoming frankly paranoid. They use every tool imaginable to check the activity of every newcomer as thorough as possible. They rarely deport for past mistakes, but they sure are good at finding them. I personally had to answer for some kills I committed in my youth, let's say, with PvP fleets. Second, it leads to federalization of the whole structure. Players bind together territorially and create elaborate webs of trust. Trust that must be proven in all cases for you to be a part of this chapter of space. This led to whole chapters abandoning others in battles or being pretty much autonomous, ignoring all that happened outside of their space. This is a worrying development, always leading towards a crash. Providence was taken over several times, but they always colluded together and worked diligently, even zealously, to get their home back. I think it shows that only a group of devoted, idealistic people can purposefully run this kind of arrangement. Third, and the last thing I will address, is that allowing in whole alliances and corporations of neutrals leads to very low cooperation in general. People band together in very irregular way, and since there isn't an official meta structure, simple defense fleets turn into a logistic nightmare. Providence clearly displays a need for one overarching ruling alliance in such complex arrangements as a transgalactic space state, or at least for one clear constitution that governs human behavior. In conclusion, even though Providence right now is a prosperous and productive coalition, fighting for its life and liberty, all the things in its development point towards a giant need for clearly structured military backbone that other coalitions always work so hard on developing.